Welcome to FlyEaglesFly News, where Eagles fans get the latest, fastest, and hottest updates. Hit subscribe and fly high with us. The sports world is buzzing with an intensity that feels almost palpable, and the epicenter of this storm is none other than Jalen Carter. Sources close to the team have hinted at conversations that are sending shockwaves through Philadelphia, and it's hard to overstate just how explosive this situation has become. Rumors that were once whispered in locker rooms are now echoing across social media, and fans are scrambling to piece together what really happened behind the scenes. Carter's recent comments, reported by insiders, have sparked a level of outrage within the Eagles organization that few expected, and it's ignited a debate about loyalty, professionalism, and the delicate balance of star power in modern sports. Analysts are dissecting every syllable of his statements, trying to understand the motivation behind them and whether this is a temporary flare-up or a permanent fracture in his relationship with the franchise. Meanwhile, speculation about his future with the team is reaching a fever pitch, with some pundits predicting a dramatic exit from the final roster of 2025. The implications are enormous, both for Carter's career trajectory and for the Eagles' defensive strategy, as the timing couldn't be worse, with a crucial season looming and expectations sky-high. Insiders suggest that the context of Carter's remarks is just as important as the words themselves, and understanding the environment around the team gives a fuller picture of why this controversy is so incendiary. The Eagles have prided themselves on discipline and a strong locker room culture, which makes any perceived breach a serious concern, and the organization is reportedly conducting an internal review to gauge the fallout. Players, coaches, and management alike are in a state of heightened alert, navigating the tension while trying to maintain focus on the demanding schedule ahead. Social media has exploded with reactions ranging from disbelief to outrage, and every major sports outlet has picked up the story, amplifying the pressure on the team to respond decisively. At the same time, Carter's personal brand is under scrutiny, as fans question whether his public persona aligns with the values and expectations of one of the NFL's most storied franchises. Every angle is being analyzed. Was it a careless misstatement, a calculated provocation, or an indicator of deeper issues within the squad? The buzz around this situation is unprecedented, and insiders warn that the coming weeks could redefine Carter's career, the Eagles' locker room dynamics, and even the team's public image for the foreseeable future. Veteran analysts are already comparing this episode to some of the most controversial moments in NFL history, noting that the combination of talent, personality, and high stakes can often lead to situations that spiral far beyond initial expectations. In Carter's case, the speculation is intensifying because he represents not only a key defensive force, but also a media magnet, whose every move is scrutinized and dissected by commentators and fans alike. The Eagles are facing a delicate balancing act. They need to protect the integrity and morale of the squad while managing the optics of a potentially career-altering controversy. Every press briefing, every locker room comment, and every social media post is being examined through the lens of crisis management, creating an atmosphere thick with tension and uncertainty. For supporters, this drama is both captivating and nerve-wracking, as they weigh loyalty to their star player against the principles and culture that define the team. Meanwhile, rival franchises are watching closely, perhaps even sensing opportunities to capitalize on the discord, adding another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. The potential consequences extend far beyond a single season, influencing draft strategies, team cohesion, and even sponsorship relationships, which makes every development in this story a headline-grabbing event with ripple effects across the league. The story has also prompted a flood of opinion pieces, podcasts, and discussion panels, each offering a different interpretation of Carter's comments and their likely impact. Some argue that this is a teachable moment, one where the Eagles could reinforce their commitment to team values while providing support to a young superstar navigating immense pressure. Others are less forgiving, suggesting that any breach of professionalism at this level must have tangible consequences to preserve discipline and authority. Social media reactions have been especially dramatic, with memes, hot takes, and passionate arguments shaping the narrative in real time. Fans are divided, some rallying behind Carter for his talent and charisma, others condemning him for a perceived lack of judgment and loyalty. The rumor mill is relentless, fueled by leaks, insider sources, and educated guesses, each contributing to a story that grows more complex and combustible by the day. With the final roster decisions for 2025 looming, every word, action, and hint from both Carter and the Eagles is magnified, creating a perfect storm of speculation that feels impossible to ignore. In essence, the situation has transcended mere team politics and entered the realm of cultural conversation, reflecting broader questions about accountability, celebrity, and the pressures of professional sports at the highest level. Team insiders also note that the timing of this controversy coincides with a critical juncture in the Eagles' season preparation, adding layers of logistical and strategic concern. Coaches are tasked with maintaining focus among players while managing morale, and the presence of a superstar embroiled in such a high-profile incident complicates traditional methods of team cohesion. Analysts point out that the ripple effect of Carter's comments extends beyond the locker room. The front office, marketing teams, and even broadcast partners are all impacted, highlighting the multifaceted nature of modern sports controversies. Every action taken by the organization will be scrutinized for fairness, consistency, and effectiveness, forcing leadership to balance immediate damage control with long-term implications for team culture. Meanwhile, rival fans are reveling in the drama, and social media engagement has skyrocketed, reinforcing the sense that this is no ordinary off-season story. Speculation about trades, suspensions, or even a complete roster shakeup is rampant, with each rumor building upon the last, creating a feedback loop of tension and intrigue. The combination of talent, temperament, and timing makes this one of the most watched and discussed situations in recent NFL memory, and the coming weeks promise to reveal whether the Eagles can navigate the storm or if Jalen Carter's words will leave an indelible mark on both his career and the franchise's trajectory. As discussions continue behind closed doors, it becomes clear that no one involved is taking the situation lightly, and the weight of every decision is amplified by the high stakes of professional football. Carter's influence as a defensive cornerstone is undeniable, yet his recent remarks have thrust him into the center of a narrative that threatens to overshadow even his on-field achievements. Reports indicate that management is weighing multiple scenarios, from disciplinary measures to potential roster changes, and the uncertainty is fueling speculation that could drive fans, media, and players to extremes. The story is unfolding rapidly, with insiders emphasizing that any small development could trigger a cascade of reactions, altering perceptions and strategies in real time. For fans, this drama blends frustration, fascination, and a touch of disbelief, as they grapple with the idea that a single player's comments might have seismic consequences. Meanwhile, sports analysts continue to break down Carter's statements, examining tone, intent, and potential repercussions, all while preparing for the inevitable questions about team unity, leadership, and the balancing act between individual talent and organizational values. In short, the Jalen Carter saga has captured the imagination of the NFL world, setting the stage for an offseason that could redefine careers, reputations, and perhaps even the very culture of the Philadelphia Eagles organization. The tension surrounding Jalen Carter's future with the Eagles has escalated to a level that insiders describe as unprecedented, with whispers of a potential exit from the 2025 roster dominating every conversation in Philadelphia. Behind closed doors, the organization is reportedly weighing every possible scenario, from structured disciplinary action to a complete parting of ways, as the team attempts to reconcile Carter's undeniable talent with the disruption his words have caused. Sources indicate that the locker room atmosphere is strained, with players divided between loyalty to a star teammate and adherence to the culture of professionalism that the Eagles have cultivated over decades. Analysts suggest that this internal tension could manifest on the field, potentially affecting preparation, communication, and defensive cohesion in ways that fans might only notice once the season begins. Meanwhile, social media has become a battleground of speculation, with commentators dissecting every nuance of Carter's statements, creating a real-time feedback loop that intensifies scrutiny and public pressure. The possibility of Carter leaving the team has sparked debates about whether the Eagles would be better served prioritizing discipline or preserving on-field talent, a question that reaches beyond strategy into the core identity of the franchise. As the offseason unfolds, every hint, leak, or comment is magnified, making it clear that the next few weeks could redefine not only Carter's career, but also the trajectory of one of the NFL's most high-profile teams, adding a sense of anticipation and anxiety to an already charged environment. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments, and let's talk birds. Rumors suggest that agents, advisors, and even rival teams are circling like hawks, eager to gauge whether the situation presents an opportunity to lure Carter away or leverage his uncertainty for negotiation purposes. The complexity of the scenario is amplified by the fact that Carter is considered a generational defensive talent, making any potential departure a seismic shift for the Eagles' strategic plans. Insiders indicate that the front office is exploring options that range from trade talks to draft compensations, while simultaneously trying to manage the optics of a player potentially leaving under a cloud of controversy. Public perception is a major concern, as fans expect transparency and accountability, and the organization is acutely aware that missteps could result in long-lasting reputational damage. The media frenzy shows no signs of slowing, with sports networks and influencers dissecting the story through every conceivable lens, fueling speculation about how the team will handle internal conflict and what this means for the broader NFL landscape. Meanwhile, Carter himself has remained somewhat enigmatic, offering statements that are interpreted in multiple ways, keeping rumors alive and fueling the ongoing debate about whether he will ultimately remain loyal or part ways with the Eagles. The layers of intrigue continue to grow, creating a narrative that feels more like a dramatic saga than a typical off-season story, and insiders warn that the coming weeks will be decisive for all parties involved. Reports from Philadelphia suggest that the Eagles' leadership is engaged in intense discussions, weighing the consequences of Carter's comments against his immense value as a player, and trying to chart a course that preserves both the team's competitive edge and its cultural standards. Coaches are said to be emphasizing discipline and accountability while attempting to mitigate distractions that could derail preparations for the 2025 season, a delicate balancing act made exponentially more difficult by Carter's public remarks. The locker room is reportedly a mix of concern, curiosity, and tension, with players monitoring developments closely, aware that their own futures could be influenced by how this saga unfolds. The ripple effect of a potential departure goes beyond just the defensive line. It touches the team's morale, strategy, and even the fanbase's trust. Meanwhile, media outlets continue to speculate, analyzing past behaviors, teammates' social media interactions, and insider hints to construct a picture of what the Eagles might decide. Every angle is being scrutinized, from potential trade partners to internal disciplinary procedures, creating a pressure cooker atmosphere that has fans and analysts alike on edge. As the saga develops, the questions multiply. Will Carter stay and rebuild trust? Will the Eagles prioritize principles over immediate talent? Or will the fallout culminate in a roster shakeup that reshapes the team for years to come, leaving an indelible mark on both the player and the franchise? Some insiders suggest that the drama surrounding Carter could have far-reaching implications for team culture and the NFL at large, as other players and organizations observe the handling of the situation as a benchmark for accountability. The balance between individual expression and team cohesion is under intense scrutiny, with Carter's case serving as a flashpoint for debates about leadership, loyalty, and the consequences of high-profile missteps. Fans are divided, with some arguing that Carter deserves leniency due to his exceptional talent, while others contend that no player should be above the standards that define a franchise. Analysts have noted that this dynamic creates a unique tension, as the Eagles must navigate not only roster decisions, but also broader questions about maintaining authority, respect, and discipline within a high-pressure environment. The rumor mill continues to spin, fueled by leaks, speculation, and insider commentary, making every small development seem like a potential turning point. Meanwhile, rival teams are watching closely, considering how the situation might influence trade dynamics, player negotiations, and even the competitive balance within the league. The narrative has grown beyond a simple roster issue, becoming a story about culture, power, and the pressures of stardom, making it one of the most talked about and closely followed sagas in recent NFL memory, with each passing day adding layers of intrigue and anticipation to an already volatile situation. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.